You made it. You're here. I'm Sunny D.
And I'm Captain J.
And we're the Pot Smoking Moms. If you enjoy our podcast, which we know you do, follow us on all social media because we never know which one of our platforms is going to falter. If you like us, rate, subscribe, share. Just be friends with us.
Yeah, at any time, any of our social medias can just be taken away from us.
I know. I'm walking a thin line over our TikTok
again.
Yeah. They pulled down the advent calendar for scams and fraud, and I was like, "Excuse me, you might get me for cannabis, but you're not getting me for scams and frauds." And so I won the video back, but all of our features are blocked.
Yeah,
so they're dicks.
Got to get used to it. That's just part of the life of being a cannabis creator.
Yeah,
it sucks.
They can shut you down at any time.
So that's why it's important that you guys subscribe and follow us everywhere, because we're being censored, and this is really our most uncensored area. So
yeah, so follow us on our podcast. I feel
our
like
YouTube.
You can, or YouTube as well, even though they're kind of dicks too over there. I've noticed. But if you follow us, that way you're alerted anytime we have a new show or something fun is happening. We got a really fun contest going on right now. It's not, is it it's a giveaway. We're giving stuff away. You don't really have to tap dance or do anything fancy for us to give you.
Yeah, but before we get into all that, we got to get our head right.
Yeah. We got a smoke session. If you do not have anything to smoke, I suggest you grab something because we're about to hit it.
Yeah.
We're really excited because we're smoking out of our award.
For the first time, we finally got a bowl that fits her because it's one of the smaller. I think they said 10 millimeter. I don't remember what size.
Tiny little bow.
Tiny, but it's perfect. Yeah. She's beautiful, out of our green queen. So
I'm gonna take a hit out of her later, but for right now, I'll just hit this.
Yeah, we're smoking Rise's Italian Ice and Hybrid.
Yeah.
Cheers.
How does she smoke?
Perfect.
Yeah. So what are we naming her? You just said Green Queen, right?
Green Queen.
I like Green Queen. We could keep Green Queen.
The Queen of Greed.
The Queen of Green.
What about Greenest to Milo?
Greenest to Milo. Yeah, pretty much, right? Because she's missing her arms or whatever. That's the statue that's missing her arms.
Well, we have a good show. We don't have a guest this week. It's just us again, but we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Before we do that, we definitely want to thank our patrons. We are able to put this show together because of you guys. You guys are the ones that really inspire us to keep doing this. So thank you so much. If you want to become a patron, check out our website and you can see a link there to become a patron.
Yeah, they get lots of perks. We're got a Discord going. We got a lot of stuff we talk about. We do a lot of things, events. But if you can't contribute to the Patreon, you can definitely rate, review, and share our podcast. That helps us a lot. And we appreciate you every time you do that. If you're able to drop a nice, if you're, what is it called? A review. If you're able to drop a review on any of our podcast platforms, probably Apple might be the only one you could do it. Let us know so we can hook you up with some stickers.
Yeah, even if you can't, I think Apple's the only one where you could actually do a written review, but I think like Spotify and all these others, you can at least give us the 5 stars.
Right.
That is also very helpful.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
According to Wrapped Up on Spotify, we're like kicking ass.
I feel like I know, like, look, I saw ours and I was like, oh, that's cute. But in the back of, how I'm queen
very
cynic.
skeptical.
Yeah, queen skeptic, right. I was just like, I don't know. I think their aim is to like paint it in a pretty picture so that you feel good and you keep going.
Doing it.
But we did create a lot of
some
content.
Good statistics. You could work statistics how you want to make it look good, right? So,
but it was pretty decent. But we definitely want more ears. So if you tell people about us too, that helps a lot. We really appreciate it. We got a special coming for you guys on the 21st of December.
Yep. Make sure you're following us on YouTube so that you don't miss this.
We're going to be airing this on our YouTube, on our Twitch, and on our Facebook Live. If you need to connect with us on any of those platforms, go to potsmokingmoms.com or go to our Instagram and click the link in bio, and that'll give you all of those pages. That way you could pick which one you want to see us on the 21st. We got so many things. What are we doing? We got so many things happening.
A lot
for
of
the
things.
for the live stream. We got special guests.
We're gonna have games, little sketches.
We're gonna have some sketch comedy. If all works out well. But ultimately, we're gonna have lots of fun, and you can chat with us, and you can participate.
In the games.
And you can participate
Giving
in
out
games
prizes
and prizes for those games. So
Yes.
definitely check us out December 21st, 8 p.m. live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook Live.
Yeah. And speaking of prizes, we're doing our advent calendar giveaway.
Oh yeah, you guys! If you go to our Instagram and sometimes our TikTok, you can see that we have the coolest advent calendar, cannabis advent calendar, and every day we pick a prize out of our calendar. And this Wednesday, and every Wednesday, we pick one out of our comments.
Yes.
Because our patrons are the ones who are getting most of the gifts.
Automatically, patrons are getting one.
Right.
They're part of it.
But if you want to participate and you're not a patron, you can go ahead and tag yourself in one of our posts for your opportunity.
And we're going to be giving it away here on the show, which we're about to announce the
Yes.
first winner.
This is the first winner we announce on the podcast, and it is day 7 winner. Yay! Our winner is it's Jasmine, or as I'd like to say, it's Jasmine. So, congratulations, Jasmine. We hope you enjoy. We got a little chocolate for you from Magically Blended. Our friend Kanashe, wonderful chocolate. Please check her out.
Yes, magically.blended on Instagram. This is a delicious 2-gram magically blended chocolate.
Yes. So congratulations,
and you know
Jasmine.
what magic means.
Yeah. Hopefully you eat the chocolate and you let us know how magical it was for you. So congratulations.
So if you want to win a prize off our calendar, make sure to check out our social media and tag yourself in one of the videos for an opportunity to win.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing it every Wednesday, like you said, on the show. But there's going to be 2 Saturdays sprinkled in there at the end where there's going to be additional ones.
Yeah. So see if you win. So what's happening this week?
Dude, have you seen the shit about the Balenziaga drama?
So I've seen a couple things.
Like the scandal about
Balenziaga.
it.
Yes.
Balenziaga. Well, first of all, I'm like out of touch when it comes to fashion and shit like that. I know nothing about fashion. I have no fashion sense.
I hear you. I'm kind of on the same tip.
The first time I heard what Balenziaga was the Balenciagas.
Oh, right, from the Lizzo song.
From the Lizzo song, I was like, Balenciagas. What's she talking about? It's like shoes or something, I guess. And that's when I figured out, okay, it's like a brand.
Yeah.
So I'm not even familiar with this brand at all.
I'm not, but recently they had made some sort of campaign where they had taken like a BDSM like a teddy bear, and they put like bondage gear on the teddy bear.
Have you seen the pictures?
I've seen the pictures.
It's like
briefly.
These toddlers holding these teddy bears that have like BDSM
like bondage straps all over them.
Yeah, like the first one, like, okay, you can look at it. Oh, maybe it's just like a goth bear, like a punker goth bear. But then there's another one that's a little more obvious where it's like a mask and like a gag ball or something.
Yeah.
And
what the hell? And then what were they thinking when they were setting up these children holding those bears?
No, but it goes further than that. Like, so when people saw those pictures, they flipped out and they started looking at all their ads, and like citizen sleuths, like internet sleuths, people on the internet started looking at all their ads, and they found little subliminal message things in other ads.
Are you serious?
So there's another ad where there's like, there was like paperwork on like the table when you zoom in and look at the paperwork.
Oh, it was like porn, like child porn.
It was a court case, a Supreme Court court case where they made a decision about CP, child pornography on the internet.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
Why would you even?
Why would you place that there?
Why would you?
Why is that
even?
in there?
That's
It's like a little
so-
nod to like. And then there's another one where there's like these books in the background behind the model, like on the desk, and the books are written by some kind of author that's known
to be
for
like
CP.
pedophile
For like,
Oh,
yeah, like some kind of author that released some kind of work that was basically CP that had lots of
that's
naked children in it.
terrible.
I know. I'm like, how can this happen? Like when you know that those huge brands, whenever they do a photo shoot or whatever, everybody signs off about everything that's in that picture. Every little detail that's in that picture is looked over and considered and placed for a reason.
I mean, I feel like they do play on like no
Edgy?
like you're right, like no like there's no such thing as bad publicity, and so they're trying to start some shit and go. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
they're just trying to be popular because they're doing such crazy type of things, type of ads and
Maybe
stuff.
you could say that about the toddlers with the teddy bears. Oh, we're trying to be edgy.
Controversial. Yes, thank you, Jesse, for
They're trying to be
they're trying to be
controversial.
controversial, right? For clout, because ultimately
This is not the
unless
good kind of
people are-
controversial you want.
Well, yeah, I know that's true, but still, but like, I don't know.
like, and they supposedly, again,
And everybody,
I get a lot of my news from TikTok. Okay. But they've come out and they've released a statement apologizing and everything.
right? So I heard that, and then I heard that they're trying to now get people who represent them, other celebrities.
I heard that celebrities stopped
like-
following them and stuff.
Yeah, but this is my whole
Like
thing.
ones that were in their that worked for them. Like, oh, and then everybody's up in a roar. Like, why did Kim Kardashian take so long
and
to speak out
now-
against it?
And now what's her face? Which
Bella
I'm not a
Hadid?
fan of. No, la otra, la rubia, the girl from the blonde girl who played Lucy, who I do not care for at all.
Oh, Kim.
No,
Not
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
Oh, kid. She has a kid in her name.
I said Kim, but I was thinking
A ki-
Nicole Kidman.
Nicole Kidman.
And then they were like, I didn't know. See, I don't know anything about fashions, but apparently, like Kim wore like their gimp looking mask designs.
oh yeah, I saw it for like
Fashion Week or whatever.
Yeah.
And that her daughter Northwest was wearing one too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, are they not?
And if it's fashion, it's fashion. But the thing with the child pornography guy author and that court case, that is like
that's pushing the envelope too far. I mean, whatever.
and
I
it's
think it's ridiculous. The whole
fashion
thing
like that
is
for children. I don't understand.
yeah, well, these people are super rich. You know how I feel about rich people. I don't necessarily think that we should go after like the people who are involved with them, but we should hold them accountable, right? So like we shouldn't like hang Nicole Kidman out to dry and Kim Kardashian out to dry. I mean, whatever.
'Cause
I can
maybe
give a
they didn't
shit
know
about
anything
them. Like,
about
if
that,
you
but
don't
once
want to
it's
hang them out to dry,
exposed-
go for it.
Like maybe they had no
But-
idea, but like once it's exposed, then be
Right.
like, yo,
Yeah, then be like, hey, I didn't sign up for that part of this.
I didn't know that's what this
deal.
mask meant. Maybe playing dumb. Like, I don't know. I know nothing about fashion.
Yeah, I just feel like that's right. Like there are certain
I've
things that you
seen-
shouldn't fucking involve. You shouldn't be a part of, and that would definitely be one thing to not be.
It's like
involved
they're
with.
saying it's a way they're trying to desensitize children to it so that they're desensitized, so they think it's normal when they're exploited and
Ugh,
yes,
that's-
abused.
Yeah,
Yes.
awful.
That's the idea.
Well, I've never worn anything or bought anything from them, and I definitely don't plan on doing it
if
now.
Lizzo's gonna change the lyrics to her song like she did when she accidentally put spaz.
Oh yeah, which is commendable
Yeah.
for learning the
Mhm.
mistake from the mistake you made and then like changing it. I don't know if she does it, good for her.
Balenciagas.
I
That's
can't
the first
relate.
I heard of
You
them,
start
honestly.
throwing all these name brands at me, and
I know
I can't
nothing.
relate. I don't know.
I just don't.
It's a lyric in a song.
I
to
can
me.
appreciate something that looks really nice and that is good quality,
Right.
but I don't understand spending so much money on a piece of clothing. Again, if it's timeless and it's something I'm going to wear my entire life,
Well,
maybe.
Yeah, but Girl,
But to these rich people, that's not what it is.
Exactly. And these rich people be buying all this crazy shit. Well, first of all, these brands they give stuff to them for free for them to wear it so that they can see it. But right, and that's the other thing. I've seen some of the price tags on some of these things that people be buying, and like there's so many other things you could use that money towards. I don't know. I just feel like when something, listen, I don't spend more than $90, more than $100 on a pair of shoes. Well, I'm just saying that's me. And that's really going above and beyond for shoes. Usually I keep it at about a $50.
I'm trying to remember the last time I bought myself shoes.
I know, right? That's why I'm like, I don't even know when the last time I bought myself some shoes. We're like a buy one, get one 50% off at Rack Room Shoes.
I remember when I used to be obsessed with them, and now I can't even remember the last time I bought it.
I don't even wear heels no more because who needs that shit?
Oh my God, you will not catch me in some heels. No. Even when we did the infused dinner party.
Yeah,
I was in ballerina flats.
I wore heels for a few pictures and then bye-bye.
You have any updates? Anything going on in your life?
No,
this week?
Just trying to get quotes on housework done. My house is falling apart, apparently.
I hate that.
Yeah, oh my God. So we have a townhouse, a villa, if we need to get specific, which means it's like one whole building, right? And then like everybody has their place there. So we have one flat roof, which is a nightmare when it rains like it does here. And everybody's gotten their roof done recently. So everything is pitched to us. So there's a giant lake sitting on top of our roof. So we have to get that done. I had some guy come out. He quoted me 18 grand for a roof. I'm like, yo, I don't have a house. Do you not
for
realize
that little piece of roof?
Yes, 18 motherfucking grand. I'm like, so he hits me up. He's like, hey, did you get my estimate? And I'm like, I responded to him like, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a little rough, dude. Like, I don't know. He's talking to me about how it's like adding insulation. Whenever you get another quote, just tell him to add 5 inches of insulation because we need to bring the roof up for like everybody's shit to stop puddling on ours.
Oh my God.
But it's like, oh my God, it's like $18K for a roof and $7K for an AC. And that's not even the interior damage. It's another $5 grand.
Yeah, I saw your roof when I was there the other day. That's the worst. I hate it. If anybody knows a good roofing company in South Florida, hook a sister up. My God.
Holler at me. Tell them I'll post about them on her podcast.
You know what?
We'll
plug them.
Yo,
you want to be a sponsor of the show? Let's go. We need a roof.
Exactly. We need a roof for a sponsorship. We'll be like a lifetime sponsorship and shit. We'll always be like Robert's Roofing.
Oh my God. I'm going to ask my dad. I think he knows somebody.
Yeah, well, I need all the help I can get.
Oh my God.
What's up with you?
Not much, just this and before this actually my son's best friend is this young lady named Maddie. He has a couple best friends. There's Jake and Maddie. They play all the time on Roblox. They're always, when they're playing on Roblox, they're also on Discord talking to each other because you don't have the ability to talk through Roblox.
Oh,
so he's been asking for a while. Can Maddie come over? Can Maddie come over? I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Cute.
Finally, today is the day that it could happen. And every time he asks me, I'm always worried about like, when's it gonna happen? I have to make sure the house doesn't smell like weed. I gotta I don't,
because you don't know that because she's essentially they're friends from school, and so we've never interacted with them outside of school.
I've interacted with the mom twice. We went to her daughter's birthday party. It was at a public. They did it at like a pool, or private pool where she does her swimming lessons. They could rent it out for parties.
Oh, cool.
So we went. So that's the first time we met them. Actually, second time. The first time was when school ended, the last day of school. We met them when they did the end of school award thing. I met them there. And then the party, and then seeing them one more other time at school. Okay. But it's always very brief interactions. At the party, there's a whole other bunch of people there. I didn't really interact with them. Right. She was being a host.
Yeah.
So today, when she came over, I feel so bad because I was like, damn, I have so much to do. I had to work on content for the podcast. I had just finished cleaning up the house. I went shopping and stuff, and I got home. And before I went shopping, of course, I smoked in my office. And so when I got home and I found out she's going to be coming, I'm like, oh my God. I was walking around the whole house spraying cannabolish. making. I was like,
But we don't know yet. We don't know
I
if she's down
I don't
with
know
the
if
green.
she's cool. And it's not like I'm walking around my house smoking. It's in my office, but our shit's loud. You can
Yeah.
smell it. Shit.
Yeah.
And then so my husband was brewing coffee. I was like, oh, even better. He's brewing
Yeah,
coffee.
cover it up with that coffee, man. That way she'll smell like, oh, it smells good coffee. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
coffee smells good.
So they came over for an hour. They kept it short, so I didn't get to interact with her again that much, but my husband said she was really nice and
Mhm.
we're going to wait. It's kind of hard because it's like, I want to be like, hey,
Because
this
it's
is what I do,
Right.
whatever. Of course, I won't expose your child to it. But like, I want to know if they're cool, but at the same time, if they're not, I don't want to ruin my son's friendship with this
Right.
child.
Ultimately, too, I think you can wait a little bit because they
Exactly.
interact on their own and,
Mhm,
they got their thing going and
Mhm.
you don't necessarily have to jump into that right away because also you don't know how long that friendship's going to last. But yeah, for sure. You got to put some feelers out there though, right?
I know. Like, what do I say? What's a good,
you know what I think is a good kind of like a primer is like maybe wearing like a band t-shirt that stoners are into or like maybe a
Okay.
show that kind of has some
Mhm,
I don't know.
Okay. She seems like a goody two shoes to me.
Oh
But
yeah.
people used to say that about me. Like they met me and they didn't know me. They knew me through work. And they never, and then they find
They
out
would
I
have never
smoke. They're like,
thought.
no way you smoke.
I don't know, man. You be dressing up like Argyle to work.
That's after the podcast, bitch.
Yeah, but
That's a TV show character, though.
I know, but that guy is out of all the characters, though, come on, you fit the fucking description perfectly. So, or you're like, oh, my job found my TikTok page.
Yeah, dude.
But then I saw their video and it had you dressed up as Argyle, and I was like, do they not really? If they don't know, it's because they don't want to know
because they don't watch Stranger Things.
A lot of people watch Stranger Things.
Not the owners of my company. I doubt they do. Maybe the marketing department that made
They're
the
like,
video.
oh, look at her. She's dressed like a little boy. How cute.
She's just like a pizza guy.
She's dressed up like a little pizza guy.
No, they probably thought, like, because of the long hair, they probably didn't think it was a boy. I don't know.
But if I worked for your company and I saw and I didn't know that you
got a message from the marketing department asking, hey, Jessica, what were you dressed up for Halloween? And it was somebody in the marketing department that's from overseas because we have like people in Russia and our Ukrainian people. And I was like, oh, I was Argyle from Stranger Things 4. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I thought it was.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, we'll find out if we got pot smoking parents.
Let us know if you got a way to try to breach that subject with parents of new friends of your kid to find out if they're cool or not. How do you try to gauge that?
I know. Because when they're in school, when they're school friends, it's a little different. Like my neighbor, we had a conversation totally aside from the kids. And like, I guess you can you could play with, they could play with or not or whatever. And that's how I led with that. I was like, a pot smoking mom.
Yeah. Because it's different. It's not a relationship that's already been established. Plus, my child already established a relationship with this other kid.
Right.
They were together. They were friends in second grade.
Right.
And now they're in third grade together. Yeah. And they're just close. And they talk literally every day when they're playing games. So they're really close. So it's an established relationship. It's not like where you're meeting the brand new neighbor who she has kids and you have kids. And let's see if she's everybody's cool. So we're all first meeting each other for the first time. Yeah. There, it's easy to be like straight up. This me, blah blah blah.
I know it's a backwards because it starts with your
he would
kids
lose a friend, like
right.
What if all of a sudden you can't go to Julian's house? You can't talk to him.
Yeah, well then she'd be a fucking asshole.
My God, it'd be so. I would go off.
Yeah, that would suck. That would be kind of crappy.
Do you guys worry about this? Like, let us know.
We have a segment that you probably have been waiting for all week for, or weekend, I guess.
News Nugs. where we get high and read the news to you. All right. So our first story, you actually shared with me the New York Times versions of it. But I found
That's too wordy.
No, it wasn't that. Is that I'm not subscribed and it wouldn't let me look at it.
Oh, I hate that shit. I hate those paywalls.
Yeah, so I was like, so I knew I had seen the story already and I had already like saved it to talk about.
Word.
But I was like, I knew it wasn't New York Times. All right, so E. coli, salmonella, or lead found in 40% of illegal New York weed. That is insane.
That's a lot of percent.
That is scary. And then I was like, who did this study? Well, here we go. The New York Medical Cannabis Industry Association found way too many contaminants such as E. coli, salmonella, and lead in illegal weed. New York officials deployed researchers to sample products from illegal bodegas and pop-up dispensaries selling cannabis on the street and tested them for harmful contaminants. If it's safe, clean flower that you want, the findings were dismal at best. That's scary. According to a report led by the New York Medical Cannabis Industry Association published on November 30th, around 40% of illegal cannabis products sampled in New York City were found to contain harmful contaminants like E. coli, salmonella, and lead. The cannabis products were purchased from only about 20 illegal sites, but spanning across all 5 boroughs.
Which makes me wonder, like, how legit is this? Because that's a lot.
I mean, it's not that much of a sample size,
Yeah.
and they found that much.
Right.
That's
concerning.
Very.
Salmonella, E. coli, and other contaminants in weed pose serious threats to your health and are controlled under typical state regulations. Smoking weed with bacteria like E. coli provides a direct path for the infectant into the lungs, where it can potentially do a lot of damage. E. coli, heavy metals, copyright infringement, and 100% failure rate. A look at New York's illicit cannabis market was released by the New York Medical Cannabis Industry Association in partnership with New Jersey Cannabis Trade Association and the Connecticut Medical Cannabis Council.
My goodness. Key findings. The report reveals the results of third-party lab testing of cannabis products purchased from over 20 unlicensed dispensaries spanning across the 5 boroughs. Among key findings, researchers detected the presence of, again, the same thing, E. coli, salmonella, and pesticides in various products. About 40% of the products failed at least one of the standard tests administered to legal cannabis products, only available at legal medical cannabis dispensaries. The report illuminates the danger posed by pop-up illicit operators that have circumvented New York's regulations, which creates hazards for public health. In some instances, THC levels as much as twice the advertised amount. Finally, over 50% of locations where the product was purchased did not ask for identification. What?
Wait a second. Wait. So they lied backwards in this case? In some instances, THC levels as much as twice the advertised amount.
Yeah.
So then they were
they were inflating the THC levels.
Okay. So the people who got so these illicit market people also, they were pretending their THC was higher.
They're like inflating
standard,
it by up to
yeah.
Even dispensaries have been caught. Legal dispensaries have been caught doing, but not asking for ID. Like at least you got to make sure they're of age,
right? That's pretty fucked up.
I mean, okay, this is pure. This is legacy. No, but my plug never asked me for ID.
Yeah,
but like they're seen as a location, like a storefront.
Right.
Like
I remember a bunch of trucks got taken down too.
Some were actually asking for ID then.
I'd hope so. I mean, that's part of the whole process. You should for this kind of stuff.
I know, but they're not a licensed.
Right. So they're not doing anything by the rules. Remember, They got caught, and like a lot of trucks too got.
I'm pretty sure the first dispensary I went to California was an unlicensed one, because they asked me for ID though. They made sure I was an adult, but I found out like
this was years ago, right?
This was when 2018.
Okay.
I think it was 2019. It was before the pandemic. I went to California for my cousin's wedding. We went to Disneyland. First thing I did after Disneyland was go find a dispensary. I just looked one up and on like what was the closest on Google Maps, and I called an Uber. The Uber took me there and wasn't there. It was like closed. And the Uber guy's like, "Oh, I know one."
Oh shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay." And he updated the Uber app to that address, and we went there. And then I went in, but it was not like it didn't have like a sign. It was nighttime already. It didn't have like a sign. Like it wasn't illuminated. It was like
It was
really
a shop.
dark.
Yeah.
And there was a guy by the door, and I was walking up. I was like, "This is a little weird.
What do you sell here? TBD to be determined."
So
What
I
do you
gave
need?
him my ID, he showed me, and then he let me in. And it was a nice shop inside. It was like a really nice looking dispensary inside, but I think it was an unlicensed one because they didn't have like signage. They didn't have, and also they had like big mason jars of nugs, and you got to like see and smell it, and like they weighed it out right there in front of you.
Oh,
Like that's not how it is. Everything's packaged.
yeah, that sucks. I mean, the fat pack that like it's pretty cool. to
That's
see
nice
everything.
that way.
Yeah, that's
it would be cool if it could be that way.
Kind of like a apothecary. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
The report's findings are deeply troubled and highlight the tremendous risks posed by unscrupulous firms operating above the law, said NYMCIA President Geist Bebe. New York, I don't know, Bebe. New York has a responsibility to not only protect the health and safety of its residents, but also to fulfill the promise of socially equitable adult use market. Neither goal can be realized without stricter enforcement against bad actors. Bloomberg reports that over 30 licenses for illegal businesses were granted on November 21st, but in most cases, it's open season for illegal cannabis businesses.
See, people are still gonna go to jail
Yeah.
for selling weed.
Right.
Impact on New York communities. The implications of the impact upon disadvantaged communities was also brought forth. I want everyone to understand that these smoke shops and delis are delis. Delis?
They can make you a sandwich and hook you up with some weed. Nice.
Is that how you would write?
I don't.
Delis
I think
plural.
Delis plural. Is it? Or is
I
it
don't know.
apostrophe? S?
Delis are not legacy
I
operators.
have no idea what delis means, but I do know what delis are.
They're opportunists that are re-traumatizing our community and stopping our ability to build wealth.
Re-traumatizing.
Their
That's,
legacy market.
right.
They've always been there. There's always been plugs.
Yeah.
They are poisoning our Black and brown communities. You cannot build wealth up without health, and these smoke shop owners are destroying the reputation of New York's cannabis with their chemicals. They need to be stopped, said Juan Carlos Hunt, CAURD licensed applicant and legacy operator and co-founder of New York for Social and Economic Equity.
Others placed the blame on failing medical cannabis program, which pushed New Yorkers into the unknowns of the illicit market. Faced with an eroding medical cannabis program, New York patients have been pushed into this newly rampant illicit market, exposing them to E. coli, Salmonella, and other dangerous toxins from untested products, said Don Williams, Vice President of Government Relations at Curaleaf. Yeah, real nice you slip in there, Mr. Curaleaf. They deserve better, and New York must prioritize creating a safe and thriving cannabis program for them and adult use consumers. But see, like, but this is the thing. Listen, like, okay, I get that this guy is in the legal market and he's trying to prove the point that, you see, if you get your shit on the street, it's gonna be this trash. But like, I kind of also feel like this is like a little bit of a smear campaign for legacy people.
That's exactly how I'm feeling.
Right? Because like, yeah, now they get to like, just like whenever like a murder
This seems
goes
like
on
very convenient. It's like, oh, we have retail cannabis now in New York, so we're gonna try to like make sure people don't want to go to the illicit market.
Right. It feels like planned too that this comes out, that they just start testing all of these people's products. Yeah, that people are trying to, understandable that people are trying to get a leg in.
I almost feel like they may have, like, they only chose 20 locations over 5 boroughs. They said, I almost feel like they strategically chose ones they knew were sketch.
Right.
Because that's only 20 out of all of New York. I'm sure there's way more. And these aren't like, people have all sorts of different plugs. People probably don't even go to, these 20 whatever. And they're just trying to like smear the whole legacy market. We've been buying weed from these people forever. Like, we've been getting weed from the legacy market since the get-go, because it wasn't legal before.
I would say maybe there's also other opportunists too as well, who are like, oh, now weed's legal, I could do this. And then they start trying to go that route, and it's like someone who just started doesn't know what they're doing.
And how does
that's also probably part of it too. In some of these cases,
they have it like on the article, there's a link to the actual report of the research that they did. So any like sciencey people that can like read all that and like want to get into it, check it out and see how legit you think that study was. But it's only 20 locations, and they could have easily been selective on that, and to know that they were going to get such bad results.
Right.
Because I'm sure there's also many, legacy vendors that do a great job and have great product and, don't have all those chemicals and things or bacteria.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been smoking it for a long time.
But I can
guys.
also understand how, like, someone who's
I still would choose to go to the dispensary now that it is legal. That's why I got my card, because I want to be able to know.
right.
Before then, I just had to always trust.
And to be able to hold somebody accountable if some things were to go wrong.
Damn,
I don't
didn't
know.
even know there could be E. coli in weed.
E. coli and salmonella, right?
Yeah,
That was
salmonella
news to me
and E.
too.
coli in weed. What?
Yeah.
And I feel like they chose those like those names because they know they stand out to people. I don't know. It feels like
Right.
a planted
It's
story
mixed.
to me, but like I don't know. I didn't read the study or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next story. This is an interesting one. I saw this headline and I was like, "What? Huh? They drug test monks?" That was my first question. I was like, "Why are they drug testing monks?" So a Buddhist temple left empty after monks
all of
failed
them?
drug tests. All of them.
Damn. That's like the work brownie thing. Like, oh, I'm getting tested at work. Well, I'll give edibles to everyone. Now everyone's
But I
gonna
don't think
test
it was.
positive.
My first thought was, okay, whatever. If they smoke weed, right? That was my first thought.
Right.
If it's weed, what's the big fucking deal? They're Buddhist, like weed, whatever. It's a plant.
Yeah, that's
I don't think
probably
it is
how they can achieve peace.
I saw this story through TikToks, and it's not that.
Okay.
So I was like, what? So I had to go look up the story so we could read it. But it was like meth or something.
Ugh.
I know. We got to read it. I didn't know. We'll see. So a Buddhist temple in Thailand is even quieter than usual these days after several monks there failed the drug test. Agents France Press reports that a total of 4 monks, including an abbot at a temple in Phetchabun, province's Bang Sam Phan district, tested positive for methamphetamine on Monday. See? It is meth.
Damn, bro. Monks?
I know. Why are monks doing
the men's
meth?
monks. Now they have their
How
own
do they even
band.
get meth? Like, I'm very confused. So Boonlert Thin Tap Thigh.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm really bad.
These names are gonna kick our ass.
Thin Tap Thai, an official in the central Thailand district told the press that the temple is not empty of monks, and nearby villagers are concerned they cannot do any merit making after the 4 monks were sent to a rehab clinic. Oh my God. This
merit making involves worshippers donating food to monks as a good deed. Boonlert said more monks will be sent to the temple to allow villagers to practice their religious obligations. Thailand is a major transit country for methamphetamine, flooding in from Myanmar's troubled Shan state via Laos, according to the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. On the street, pills sell for less than 20 baht, which is 50 cents.
Oh my God.
Authorities across Southeast Asia have made record meth seizures in recent years. The raid of the temple comes at a turbulent moment for the country and its enforcement of drug laws.
How did they find out that the monks, like, what was like the tip that they're like, oh, we got to go raid the temple and drug test all the monks? What the fuck?
They were like, probably like, oh, I went over there to do my, what is it? What is the name?
Merit making?
I went there to do my merit making, and everybody was cleaning at a very fast speed. I was like, this is weird. They usually
maybe the luck's been off. Like, the merit making is for, like, good blessings and luck or whatever. I think so. Maybe things have not been good in the village.
I don't
know, man. Oh my God. So in June, Thai lawmakers passed a measure that removed cannabis from its list of prohibited drugs, making it the first Asian country to decriminalize weed. But the new law has resulted in ambiguity and frustration for government officials. The new law made it legal to cultivate both cannabis and hemp, but it also opened the door for restaurants to serve food and drinks that contain THC. These cannabis cafes have sprouted up in recent months throughout the capital city of Bangkok, much to the chagrin of Thai officials.
It's a no. Thai Health Minister Anutin Charnvirakul said in the summer when asked whether recreational pot use would be allowed. We still have regulations under that law that control the consumption, smoking, or use of cannabis products in non-productive ways.
It can be very productive.
But the cannabis cafes, not as productive as methamphetamines, apparently. But the cannabis cafes have been a boon for the country's tourism industry, with foreign travelers eager to catch a buzz in the Southeast Asian state. That too has drawn pushback from the Thailand government. We don't welcome those kinds of tourists, Newton said in August.
Hey, they're going to pay. They're going to bring money. Look at like Colorado and Amsterdam, all the tourism they get for having legal weed. So after the new law was passed in June, Newton said that the goal was never to open the door for recreational use. Thailand will promote cannabis policies for medical purposes, Newton said at the time. If tourists come for medical treatment or come for health-related products, then it's not an issue. But if you think that you want to come to Thailand just because you heard that cannabis or marijuana is legal, or come to Thailand to smoke joints freely, that's wrong. Don't come. We won't welcome you. If you just want to come to this country for that purpose.
I don't think people are gonna go all the way out. We got our own legal cannabis here.
Yeah, we got plenty of legal cannabis in our own
Thailand.
country. I'd rather go to Holland. No, I want to go to Thailand actually.
Yeah, I mean we go there, but not just to smoke weed. Like we ain't got that shit here.
But like if I smoke weed, will I get in trouble? I'm not gonna do it walking around the streets, but like in my Airbnb.
Yeah. This guy might
or
just
with
be
my
like,
pen.
don't come here to.
But can I buy? I'll be able to buy weed, right? They have cannabis cafes.
Yeah, as long as you're not there for just that.
If they're saying
it's legal, but don't come here to smoke it. That's what they're saying.
That doesn't make sense to me.
It's
so
legal,
confused.
But don't come here to smoke it. We don't want you here to smoke it.
Physicians in the country have also objected to the new law. In July, more than 850 doctors in Thailand signed a petition calling on a more stringent rules and restrictions.
Cannabis was removed from the Public Health Ministry's narcotic list on June 9th, but no policies have been launched to control the use of cannabis for personal pleasure, a spokesperson for the doctor said. This lack of legal direction makes cannabis more accessible for children and teenagers. A group of doctors argued that government and related departments should stop threatening people's health as soon as possible. The use of cannabis for medical purposes should be under control for the best benefits and safety, as the government claimed from the first place.
I am so confused by this story. Like, how did we go from meth monks to like
from the meth monks to like, don't come here and smoke the weed we have here that's legal now?
I am so confused.
Because probably maybe the monks like decided to do meth because they had such a fucking hard on for getting people.
It's just like all
cannabis.
of a sudden switches to cannabis. So I think they're like, oh, we made weed legal, so we know those monks are probably smoking weed.
Yeah, we're gonna.
And
make
then
them
they go
guilty,
drug test them, and they're smoking meth.
Oh my god! No, it might be pills. Didn't they say that?
I don't know. That's right.
Yeah,
but I don't know how meth works. I thought you smoked it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's different ways of doing it. Just like cannabis, they figured it out.
Don't do those things.
Yeah,
smoke weed instead.
All right, hey monks. Quit fucking around with the meth, okay?
I would expect monks and weed.
I know, right? Or mushrooms, or earth. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get the meth. I don't get the meth bit.
Oh God, I bet that was a surprise to the officials.
Yeah, I mean, it was a surprise to us. We're like,
but they don't even explain why they rated it.
They just said
they just went into the cannabis laws. It makes no sense. That story was
very. That was whack. They used the one story to justify the other one. It was like very confusing. No. So,
hey,
I agree with you guys.
If any of you guys have anything to say about this article, please go to the High Times and write your complaints to the High Times. We did not change subjects on purpose. They did.
I thought for a second there I clicked on another story and must have.
Yeah, I saw you go back to verify.
That's why I went back to look at the story because I was like,
sure that I didn't copy paste something else. Yeah, I know. That was
it doesn't make any sense because look, there's a whole part here where it's like a new law passed, but it's a problem for government officials. Like in the same line, it's like, well, the government officials made the law, so what's going on?
Right.
The article keeps going. It's like,
and then it's like, we have cannabis cafe clubs, but don't come here just to smoke weed. What the fuck? That was the weirdest story ever.
That was such a tease, man. Thailand, bro, get it together.
If anybody knows the skinnies on like why I'm wondering if they thought they were gonna test positive for cannabis and that's why they drug tested them. We didn't even find out why it was rated and they drug tested them.
Yeah. All
right, next story is also crazy. This is crazy here, guys. So at least 10 students treated for possible cannabis overdose at Van Nuys Middle School, officials say. This is in Los Angeles. So they were treated, what officials are saying, a medical emergency after they possibly ingested some sort of cannabis product, authorities said on Thursday. Authorities received an initial call of possible overdoses at the school around 10:30 a.m. Those who were treated were between the ages of 12 and 15.
Damn.
Oh my God. And we're experiencing, that's right, it's middle school. And we're experiencing mild to moderate symptoms according to the LA Fire Department.
The LAFD says 7 were transported to a hospital. This is not any sort of fentanyl affiliated overdose. We want to make sure everybody knows that, said the department, Eric Scott. Officials could not say exactly what the students ingested, but it was believed to be an edible cannabis product. The LAFD initially expected about 4 patients, but that number quickly increased. Officials say some students may have run and hid in classrooms when emergency crews arrived at the scene.
Oh my God. Like, not this. Okay, so the school was temporarily placed on lockdown as worried parents began arriving to pick up their children. We take the health and safety of our students very seriously, LA Unified School District said in a statement. Every effort is made to ensure the students learn in a safe environment. LA Unified maintains an ongoing partnership with local health agencies, community partners, and medical experts to provide training to school staff and education for our school communities. We actually have a little news clip on this too. It's about 2 minutes, but they actually interview some of the parents that were there. Roll the clip.
Scare at Van Nuys Middle School. That's where 10 students got sickened by a possible overdose in what's being described as possibly an edible cannabis. 7 of the students taken to the hospital. Eyewitness News reporter Eric Resendiz is live in Van Nuys with more on what authorities are saying and reaction from parents. Eric?
Yeah, so many parents we talked to were extremely scared and concerned about what was going on campus. Imagine seeing student after student being put on a gurney and transported to a hospital. As of now, the scene has been cleared of any first responders. The call came in around 10:30 this morning with at least 4 patients, but throughout the day, that number started to grow. A possible overdose call at Van Nuys Middle School prompted a massive response from first responders. At one point, the school was on lockdown. Parents started showing up to pick up their child. They were worried about their well-being. How do you feel to have your niece and your daughter back?
Great, because the school's not doing anything about it. The kids are getting high in class and they're not doing anything about it.
But the number of patients started to grow as first responders found more. The LA Fire Department says a total of 10 patients were identified. 7 were transported to the hospital. Students' conditions range from mild to moderate. Ages range from 12 to 15 years old, both boys and girls.
My boy texted to me over the phone and told me that something is going on and he's scared.
Fire officials stressing this was not some sort of fentanyl-related overdose, but possibly some sort of edible cannabis product.
I'm very nervous. I don't know what's going on. If it's safe to leave kids still over there, that's my concern.
And as to how this product made it onto campus, that will be a part of the investigation. LA Unified says they take very seriously the health and the safety of their students. The school is now open, and as you can see, more parents are showing up to pick up their child.
What?
Yeah, that's nuts. But they say mild to moderate
symptoms. So maybe
symptoms,
some
but what?
aren't having. They didn't say what the symptoms were.
Right.
Like, enough for them to have to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So like 7 or 10 of them had to go to the hospital. That's insane.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they ate. I'm really curious about the investigation and how that happened. Like, did one of the kids bring it and just share with everybody? That's a lot of kids.
That's a lot of kids.
I feel like there's a kid in school that was selling them.
Yeah, I mean, if there was that many kids, and for those effects to be as high as they were, because
And they
you
did it.
can't share one brownie with 7 kids and they all get so fucked up they gotta
Yeah.
go to the hospital.
Yeah, so it
gotta
could be somebody that was selling some really strong stuff and didn't tell them, be careful, only eat a tiny bit.
Well,
you
they're
know,
12 and
they're
15, so
they don't know what to
fucking know,
expect. They
and who
shouldn't be
knows?
doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's scary. It's scary. That's why it is so important that we talk to our kids and we explain what cannabis is and how it can affect you and how it's for adults or children that are sick that are using it for medicine. But it's not
Right, and
something a 12 to 15-year-old should be taking
Yeah.
at school. And we need to know, our kids need to know how to identify the symbols that show that there's THC in it, like all that. Like,
Yeah, but
we
also too, as parents, we have to be very vigilant and we have to keep our shit away from our kids. Like, we have to
obviously,
be very
yeah. But this was in the school. Like, somebody was distributing
Right.
at the school.
Right.
For sure.
I
Somebody
would
was
also teach
distributing.
my kids to not take shit from other people like that, because you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know.
That's scary. That's a crazy story. I wonder what's
Yeah,
going
that
to
is
come out of
scary.
that investigation. All right. So now it's time for our next segment.
I love you, Miami!
I love
Oh,
you,
shit.
Miami. So
I-
this is
Is this a follow-up?
it's a follow-up to
Oh,
a
cool.
story.
You see? So the last story, we want to follow up with that one, but
Yeah.
this is a follow-up to another story we told back in another I Love You Miami.
Yeah, earlier this year, I think it was like in April that we reported on this. So if you remember back in April, we talked
Oh,
about this lady
shit.
that put cannabis edibles in her wedding. She catered her wedding with cannabis edibles and did not tell her guests. So one of the guests apparently is put a lawsuit.
Damn.
So wedding guest files lawsuit over pot infused reception food. A woman who attended a Florida wedding earlier this year has filed a lawsuit against the caterer for the event, alleging that the business served food infused with cannabis at the reception. See, the caterer, come on, it's the bride, bro. The bride should have told
the caterer's
people.
not just gonna infuse stuff for shits and giggles.
The caterer did what she was told. Virginia Ann Taylor Svabada, the plaintiff in the legal action, says that she became immediately ill after unknowingly eating food that was laced with poisonous amounts of marijuana, according to a report from the Miami Herald. The wedding was held on February 19th in the city of Longwood, Florida, about 15 miles north of Orlando. After several guests reported that they felt high or stoned at the reception following the ceremony, emergency medical personnel and sheriff's deputies arrived on the scene to render aid. Eventually, several guests had to take several guests to the local hospital for treatment.
A police report filed after the wedding reception revealed that food served at the event was sent to a lab for testing. The reports of the lab analysis showed that lasagna and bread served at the celebration tested positive for THC, the cannabinoid largely responsible for the high commonly associated with consuming marijuana. Taylor's Boda filed suit in Seminole County against Jocelyn Bryant and her company Jocelyn's Southern Kitchen, asserting that she had no idea that the food served at the wedding reception contained cannabis. What? A complaint filed in the suit alleges that Taylor's Boda suffered from marijuana poisoning after consuming food by Bryant's company. The lawsuit, which requests a jury trial for the case.
Oh my God.
I would love to sit in that.
Oh my
jury.
God. What county is this going to be in? Hey,
I know.
are
Anybody
people
out there? I know.
If you get a jury summons, you trying to
Summons.
get on this shit.
Yeah, you better get on that shit. Well, but then once they know that they know about the case.
No, you just
don't say anything.
no.
The lawsuit, which requests a jury trial for the case, accuses Bryant of negligence and seeks more than $30,000 in damages from the defendant and her business. Bryant knew or should have known that allowing the food served by Jocelyn's Southern Kitchen to be laced with marijuana was reasonably likely to cause injuries and damages to wedding guests, the lawsuit maintains.
Oh God, this is so frustrating. I feel really bad for this caterer. This is why you have to have
You have to, you have
agreements
to
and contracts.
Yeah.
In April, Bryant and the bride, Danya Shia Svoboda, were arrested and charged with violating the Florida Anti-Tampering Act, delivery of marijuana, and culpable negligence, according to the report from the Seminole County Sheriff's Office. Affidavits filed in the case alleged that Svoboda agreed to and allowed Jocelyn Bryant to lace the food she served. Why do they say lace?
Yeah.
With cannabis, unbeknownst to the attendees, many of whom became very ill and required medical attention, according to a report from CNN. When deputies from the Seminole County Sheriff's Office arrived at the reception, several wedding guests were being treated by county fire rescue personnel for symptoms consistent with that of someone who has used illegal drugs, according to police records. When a deputy asked the bride and her new husband, Andrew Svoboda, whether they had requested or consented to the food being infused with cannabis, Andrew stared at the deputy with a blank expression for a few moments before stuttering through a no, the affidavit states.
So wait, so everybody, because the person who's
because the
filing
caterer
lawsuit
is just gonna be like, oh, just for fun, let me just lace the wheat. That makes no sense. Why would somebody just put that in the food for no reason? You know, that costs like money and all, like extra, like that doesn't make sense to me.
But who's
it was
suing?
obviously being told. The guest is suing the caterer.
Okay, but where's the bride, bro?
That's the problem. They're going straight to the caterer because that's where they think they can get money.
Yeah, but lab tests showed 3 wedding guests had urine tests that were positive for cannabis, according to court records filed in the criminal case. Some wedding guests reported that they felt stoned and ill and high. The affidavits report. While another guest said that he felt weird, tingly, fidgety, and had an extremely dry mouth after eating food served at the wedding reception. When a woman asked the caterer if the food contained marijuana, Bryant giggled and shook her head yes, the report states. According to the affidavits, one woman told an investigator that while she was at the hospital, she felt paranoid and believed her husband wasn't telling her the truth about other family members, adding that she had thought her son-in-law had died and no one was telling her. She became loud and unruly in the hospital emergency room and had to be sedated to calm her down. Oh my
God. Jeez, defendants face food tampering charges. The Tampa-based Samus law firm reported that Florida's Anti-Tampering Act covers tampering with food as well as tampering with certain types of drugs, devices, or cosmetics. Attorneys noted that the statute is not often used, in part because the statutory language is poorly written and it fails to track the federal food anti-tampering law. The firm also notes that the terms used in Florida's anti-tampering statute are also extremely vague, leading to constitutional challenges by criminal defense attorneys. Local law enforcement officers will investigate any such allegation to take swift action. These crimes can be charged as a 3rd degree, 2nd degree, or 1st degree felony, depending on how the tampering occurred and the harm caused. So she's also looking at criminal charges. The firm explains many of these crimes are committed by juveniles because of the often impulsive nature of the offense. The criminal case against Bryant is ongoing. She is due for her next appearance in a court on January 11th. I'm so confused by this.
Yeah, because the way they made it seem was like that the caterer was like, like she was the one that was like,
yeah, like
she's like,
I could have sworn that when we did this story in April,
the bride looked when they were interviewing. The bride
answered that. No.
They said
they interviewed a guest that was her friend. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And she had asked the bride. Mm-hmm. I could have sworn she asked the bride if there was edibles, and she said, "Yeah." Like that.
But the way that they're saying is,
they're saying it was. They're saying the caterer said it.
Yeah.
We need to go back to that episode.
Oh, you. Maybe she brought the wrong catering to the wrong event. Like she was supposed to take that to the pot smoking moms convention, and she instead.
No, bro. I think that she was doing what she was told, and now she's in
trouble. I do. Oh, I agree as well. I think the bride was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be funny if we?" Which is so dumb too.
That would have been if the bride said it like that to the caterer. Wouldn't it be funny if we did this? I think any smart caterer would have been like, we have to disclose,
right? But we don't know.
We
this doesn't sound like a very smart caterer either.
No, bro. You need to have everything in writing.
Yeah.
You need to disclose. You need to tell what the milligrams are so people know how much they're eating.
Yeah, don't trick people, bro. Why? What
And is
for?
this caterer even like an infusion? Like, do they know how to properly infuse food? Are they
Right.
a chef that's normally
Well,
infusing food?
We're never gonna know now. She ain't never
Well,
gonna.
we're gonna keep following this case.
Yeah.
She is due in her next court appearance on January 11th, they say. So we got to keep up on this. I'm
She'll
curious.
be catering the next infused hot smoking mountain.
I don't know.
No, I know.
We got our own chef already. We already got us somebody.
We don't need to.
And we know she does a good job.
And we know she does a good job.
Oh, man. Well, that's it. That's the end of our show.
Hey, thanks for sticking around and listening to all of our crazy weed stories today.
Yeah.
We want to show blah, 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 blah. I'm having a trouble with words today. I got a lot of cutting to do. We want to thank our sponsors.
Yeah.
Chiba Hut
And Liberty Health Sciences. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you. Also, a big thank you to our patrons. A big fat special thank you to you guys.
Our In the Rotation and our OG patrons.
Yanni,
Destiny,
Lauren,
Jesse,
Christy,
Denise,
Peaches,
Meredith,
Natalie,
Angelina,
Jenny,
Catherine,
Jay,
Chrissy,
Guillermo,
Diane,
and Gabby.
and Gabby.
Hey, you too could have your name on the show, or be a part of our next event, or just
or
maybe
get a
smoke
prize
sesh.
off our cannabis advent calendar.
Yeah,
Because all of our patrons automatically get one. And if you're not a patron, please make sure you go on to our social media and enter into the contest for your chance to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
Congratulations again to Jasmine, who won the very first one.
Who won the chocolate from Magically Blended?
The very magic chocolate.
Hey, you too can become a patron for early access to videos, additional content, full uncut versions of our interviews, smoke sessions, exclusive mom trips, maybe some chocolates.
Please check out our website, subscribe, rate, review, share our content, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Good night. Or afternoon.